Quentin Tarantino is known for turning violence into spectacle, exploding bodies, fountains of blood, gunfights that feel like operas. But in Django Unchained, one of his most disturbing scenes is the one where he does the opposite. He holds back. No slow-motion headshots, no stylized gore, just sound, staging, and suggestion. The scene is the death of D'Artagnan, torn apart by dogs on Calvi and Candy's orders. It's easily one of the ugliest things in the film. And what makes it so brutal isn't what we see, it's what Tarantino refuses to show us. In this video, I want to break down how that scene works, why it's so effective, and how Tarantino uses restraint to turn violence from entertainment into something you're not supposed to enjoy. Setting up a monster. Before we ever get to the dogs, Tarantino has already introduced us to Calvin Candy. Our first time meeting him, he's not in a war room or behind a desk doing paperwork. He's sitting front row at a Mandingo fight, two enslaved men beating each other to death for his amusement. He bets on them. He smiles. He hands the winner a hammer and casually tells him to finish the loser off.
Finish.
That scene does two things at once. It makes us hate Candy instantly. It tricks us into thinking we've already seen the worst he's capable of. So when we get to the D'Artagnan scene, we go in thinking, okay, we know this guy. He's already maxed out on evil. We're wrong. Closing in from open road to trap. By the time Django and Dr. King Schultz are riding with Candy's convoy toward Candyland, they've already fooled him into thinking they're there to buy into the Mandingo business. In reality, they're there for Broomhilda. Visually, the film tells us we're entering Candy's world. The wide, open landscapes disappear. The trees crowd in, the sky gets swallowed by branches. The convoy suddenly feels small, boxed in by nature itself. We're no longer on neutral ground, we're in his territory. We hear dogs barking before we see why. Then we cut to D'Artagnan up in a tree. The camera tilts down, not cuts, tilts, to reveal the dogs snapping at him below. That tilt is important. A cut would give us a breath, a tiny reset. The tilt denies that. We stay in the same visual space, our gaze dragged downward into the horror. Django and Schultz are forced to look. And so are we. We're not just watching a situation, we're being pulled into it. The long take, trapped with Candy. When Candy's carriage stops and he steps out, Tarantino locks us into a 1.5-minute unbroken take. For a director who loves flashy editing, this choice is very deliberate. From the moment Candy exits, the camera sticks with him. It tilts down to his boots walking through mud and horse filth. A perfect little visual jab at his self-image as a classy Southern gentleman. He looks refined, but he's literally wading through shit, morally and physically. The shot is packed from edge to edge. Slaves in the background, Django and Schultz watching. Candy's men and dogs forming a wall. There's no escape route in the frame, no empty space. D'Artagnan is trapped, and so are we. No cut, no relief, just real-time cruelty. Candy kneels in front of D'Artagnan and the composition quietly says everything. On Candy's side of the frame, men, dogs, power. On D'Artagnan's side, nothing, just emptiness. Then Candy delivers his logic like a bored accountant. When I pay $500, I expect to get 5 fights.
When I pay $500, I expect to get 5 fights out of a nigga before he roll over and play dead.
D'Artagnan isn't a human being to him, he's a bad investment. The camera follows as Candy turns away and addresses everyone, voice rising, performance kicking in, and we realize something. During this whole long take, the camera only moves when he moves. He doesn't just control the characters, he controls the frame. He controls us.
So what about my $500, huh?
Cracks in the performance.
You even know what reimburse mean?
Eventually, Tarantino cuts. And when he does, it's on a line that signals the shift. So what about my $500, huh?
So what about my $500, huh?
The performance part is over. Now we're heading toward punishment. Candy turns back to D'Artagnan and mocks him. You even know what reimburse means?
You gonna reimburse me?
At this moment, Tarantino breaks the 180-degree rule. Suddenly, Candy's eyeline flips. It's subtle, but it's disorienting. And that's the point. It's like the mask slips for a second. We're not just watching a business-minded slave owner anymore. We're getting a glimpse of something more sadistic, less controlled. Schultz feels it too. We cut to him. The camera slowly creeps in on his face. This is a man who has killed a lot of people, calmly, professionally. But this is something else. This is cruelty for sport. A few minutes earlier, Schultz was the one warning Django to stay in character, not to push Candy too far. Now he's the one who breaks.
I'll reimburse you.
You will?
Yep.
He stands up and offers to reimburse the $500. It makes no sense for the role he's playing. It's pure emotional reaction. And Tarantino underlines how big that slip is with a sharp snap zoom into Candy's face. The whole film style suddenly winks at old spaghetti westerns and kung fu movies, but here it plays like a record scratch. Something just changed. Power shift from Candy to Django. Candy walks toward Schultz, and the camera backs away with him, low angle, making him feel larger, more threatening. Then we cut to Schultz, and the camera now moves toward him, like the walls are closing in. But before Schultz can dig them into a deeper hole, Django steps in. No, he won't. He's just tired of you toying with him is all. Matter of fact, so am I.
No, he won't. He's just tired of you toying with him is all. Matter of fact, so am I.
And everything stops. The dolly moves, stop. The camera goes still. The energy in the scene shifts and the visuals reflect it. Django is framed higher, stronger, mirroring the angles we just saw on Candy. The power balance flips. Django finishes it with a cold line. They're not paying a penny. For D'Artagnan, he's worthless to them. Candy's leverage is gone. His pride is hit. And in that wounded ego, he finds another way to prove he's in charge. He gives the order.
Stone Cipher? That Marshal and the bitches send D'Artagnan to nigger heaven.
Violence you don't see? The dogs are unleashed. You'd expect Tarantino here to go full Tarantino, slow motion, blood, close-ups, shock value. Instead, we get a brief overhead glimpse. Then, nothing. No detailed mauling, no gore. The attack happens off screen. All we get is D'Artagnan screams, the sound of the dogs. The reactions on Schultz's and Django's faces. Schultz is shattered. This is the moment that will haunt him for the rest of the film, the one he flashes back to later. It's not just another killing, it's something he can't rationalize or dress up as bounty hunting. Django, meanwhile, doesn't flinch. He holds Candy's stare while the horror plays out in audio behind him, and even throws a final line in his face.
We rode 5 hours so you could show off your stock. Let's get to it. Because as of now, if he's an example, I ain't impressed.
We rode 5 hours just so you could show off? Because if he's an example, I ain't impressed. That contrast is the whole point. For Schultz, this is the line, the moment that breaks him. For Django, this is hell he already knows too well. And for us, the audience, the violence hits harder because we don't see it. Our imagination fills the gap. Tarantino, the king of excess, chooses restraint as his weapon. And it's devastating. Why this scene lingers. We're used to Tarantino's tension breaking into operatic carnage. The crazy '88 fight, the tavern shootout in Inglourious Bastards, the Candyland bloodbath that comes later in the same film. But here, after all that buildup, there is no cathartic explosion, no shootout, no stylish punchline. The convoy moves on, the music swells, and we're left alone with screams that have already stopped. In a film full of bullets and blood, it's this mostly unseen act of violence that feels the most brutal. Because here, Tarantino isn't asking us to enjoy it. He's asking us to endure it. And that's what makes the D'Artagnan scene not just one of the most disturbing moments in Django Unchained, but one of the most quietly brutal scenes Tarantino has ever directed.